knitting friends. My name is Joey Balestrieri. Welcome to my work table. I'm trying to be a little bit quiet and I have my coffee here. I started working at around 4:30 this morning. Do beads ever wake you up? They wake me up. I have not been able to stop thinking about the beautiful bargain bead box for the month of May. It's called Tropical Heat, and I am planning to do like a whole collection of just mix and match pieces. And I've already done my first video in the unboxing. I made this stunning bracelet with these little faceted cube beads and a little bit of gold accents, and I did a pair of earrings, and I have 3 more projects on my work table, and I just thought that I would videotape. It's early in the morning, so I'm on my second cup of coffee, but I wanted to share with you what I'm doing. I'm gonna jump right in to this sweet little pair of fun earrings. I am using some Brazilian waxed cord, and I happen to have this gorgeous color in my stash. This is a 0.5 millimeter cord, and for the earrings, I just took a small piece. It's about 14 inches long just because I wanted to tie some knots and I didn't want to struggle with that. And the way I did this earring is took an ear wire and I just threaded both ends through, and I'm doing a lark's head knot. So I'm just going to loop that over my finger and then pull both ends back through and just make a little lark's head knot. And then I'm going to tie an overhand knot over that. And I love to use my knotting tweezers for projects like these because I get real precision as to where those knots land on my project. So I really love that. And that's how I got it started. It's really cute how the cord attaches right to that gold metal. And then I'm just going to repeat the pattern. I was noticing when I was designing that the holes in most of the beads in this month's box were large enough to fit 2 strands of this waxed cord. And if you've been around my channel, you know that I really love knotting projects. I love the mixed material. I love like the cord going into a gemstone, going into crystal, then attaching to metal, like that mixed media. Whoops, I'm doing it backwards because I'm talking. Yeah, I just really love that. And so I incorporate knotting techniques, and I use other things to knot as well. I use leather, I use nylon cord, but this waxed cord is my favorite. So that's what I did. I just put both strands through the bead and just tie, oh no, I didn't tie a knot on this one. I made this earring yesterday, so I always say it's best if you're making earrings to do them both at the same time, because literally if you walk away like I just did, you forget what you did. And so, but I stopped because I thought it might be an idea that I would share with you guys and that you might like it. So that's what I did. I put both strands through those 3 beads. Now there were disc spacers in this box, but I am using these little disc spacers that are a bit smaller and a bit lighter weight. And I got these on the sister website to Bargain Bead Box. It's called Bead Box Bargains. And if you subscribe to the monthly Bargain Bead Box, then you get a code that can be used over and over again as many times as you want on the sister website for 30% off. It's a fabulous deal and I shop it all the time. So that's what the little earring looks like from there. And then I have just pulled in some coral lined seed beads, and I think I did 3 on each strand, and it just like mixed in nicely. And then I put one of these little crystal triangles that are yellow and very sparkly on the end. And then these little stardust spacer beads are also from Bead Box Bargains. And so I just wanted a little bit of gold on the bottom of my earrings. And then, you know, I always say the first earring is super easy to make because you just make it. But the second earring, you have to pay attention to your, you know, your spacing and your drops to duplicate. So I just want to get that first knot right there, so it will be in the same spot as my other earring. I'm going to just hold my fingernail there. Whoops. All the little critters are waking up outside. There's a frog on my windowsill, and I hear the birds coming to the bird feeder. They come very early in the morning. But it's the perfect time to make jewelry because the house is quiet, everyone's still asleep except me, because the beads woke me up. Especially this box. I mean, the colors are just the happiest. They are just absolutely the happiest. Let's see. Which strand did I match up? Okay, I got that pretty perfect. And then I'm just going to cut this so that I can fray it. And I can even save these little scraps for other earrings. Sometimes just having a little piece to add that extra texture into a project is just beautiful. I have to match up my shorter side now. And I'm just going to repeat the exact same thing. And then I actually use my knotting tweezer to separate all the little fibers in this waxed cord. This is such a beautiful product. It's made in Brazil, and I just love working with it. You can also use the tip of your pliers. Just make it fringy. Whoops, my other earring is there. So that is a colorful, fun, tropical little pair of earrings and super fast to make. So I've just added a third piece to my collection, and what I have laid out here is a really cool bracelet design. And again, I'm going to be mixing like the gold metal, the gemstones, the glass beads, spacers, a little charm, and waxed cords. So this is a little bit like tropical boho, I guess I can name it. And so I took way more. I need about a 7-inch bracelet. I'm going to use a magnetic clasp, and it's actually going to clasp in the front near this focal bead. And I took about 28 inches, which is probably a lot more than I need, but that's okay. I don't want to run short, and I want to tie a lot of knots. So I just doubled it over, and I am going to start by, let's see, I want to put a jump ring there. So that's going to connect there, and I'm going to start by, in fact, you know what? I think I'm actually going to put a jump ring on either side and tie my cord onto a jump ring. That's what I think will be better. I like the option of tying cord onto a jump ring, because if anything ever fails or I ever need to make a repair, then all I have to do is kind of slip the jump ring out of the knot and not re-knot, restring and knot the entire piece. So I made these jump rings out of 20 gauge wire, and I think I'm going to just take a couple of them and just tie on to those. I think that's a good plan. Although you could tie right onto the clasp if you wanted to. I'm just going to do it this way. Now, back to stringing. So I'm going to double my waxed cord, and I'm going to feed both ends through that jump ring and do the same thing I did on the earrings, where I bring the two ends through the loop and do another lark's head knot right onto this jump ring. And the waxed cord does kind of grab onto itself, but I usually always put an overhand knot past my lark's head knot, and then If you're new to using knotting tweezers, it really helps you to get your knots to land exactly where you want them. So you reach inside the loop that you made with your overhand knot and grab your cord right where you would like the knot to land. So I'm going to get a hold of both of those strands, and then you just pull. Of course, I have the little magnetic clasp grabbing onto the tweezers, but then you just pull, and that knot goes right down to the tip of the tweezers, and then you can take the tweezers out and use that to push your knot down into place, and you get this perfectly placed knot every time. And so, as I said, I discovered that all of these beads will accommodate a double strand of this cord. So I'm going to start with one of these English cut beads. I was thinking to do just three, do a little segment of 3 of these with the disc spacer in between. And I did opt also for my disc spacers from the website just because they were a bit smaller and not quite as heavy. I used the other spacers in this project. This is the ones that came in the box, and I used one on this bracelet. So you could do either. I just opted for a little stash item. This is so pretty. These colors they just remind me of the little paper drink umbrellas that you get when you're on a holiday, or, you know, having drinks with friends on a cruise, or that is just so beautiful. And I love this sort of orangey coral waxed cord with all of the pinks and reds and berry tones in this box that we had. So I had this laid out in a line, and this is going to attach right here with a jump ring, but I'm going to start here now and kind of get the rest of the length that I need with these stop sign beads. They just beautiful little glass octagon beads. They have 8 sides, I believe. And so even these little Stardust spacers have a really nice size hole. It's hollow inside, so sometimes for stringing waxed cord that can be a little tricky, but it's small enough that I can do it. And so that's going to be, the pattern is like a little color blocking with this, and then that gold bead. And then I'm just going to decide if I want to knot in between every, I haven't really decided how I'm going to place my knots, so let me have a look at that. I actually don't even have to knot. I could string the whole thing, but I kind of like the knots in between. Let me see. I think I am going to knot in between every bead. So another overhand knot, and just pull that through, reach through the loop, grab it right where the cord is coming out of the bead, pull it down and tighten the knot. And it just like your knots act as an additional spacer and an additional element in a design like this. So what I decided to do as I'm sitting here playing is to do every other one of these octagon beads flanked with the gold Stardust spacers, and then the next one will just have the knots, and that way it's going to be consistent and it will look like I have a gold spacer in between each bead, but I'll still, you know, have the knots as a spacer as well. So let me put this one on and I'll show you what it looks like. Just bring that down. So it's kind of will make it so that there is a gold spacer in between each octagon, but then the knots are there as well. You know, just like a perfect pattern. And I'm going to continue stringing and knotting until I get my desired length. I'll do that off camera. I'll pause here and then I'll be back. It'll just be a second for you and we'll finish this off. But already look at how stunning that is. And this, what I plan in my collection here is to have layering bracelets that I can wear 1 or 2 or, you know, add in some other things. So I'm already loving it and I only have this much done. So just be a second for you. I'm going to get a sip of my coffee and I'll be back and we'll finish it together. So my length is really good. I'm just loving this. I did decide to add 1 crackle agate because I've done 1 crackle agate as a charm on this bracelet. And as I was stringing and knotting, I decided on some extra little dangles for my piece. And so it's going to circle around to this connector like that. And so I've done jump rings on both sides of my magnetic clasp. And now I can just put both of my cord ends through this connector. They'll both go in. And I can just do a really pretty little knot. I'll probably, let's see, that looks great. I will probably go through this a couple of times just to make sure that it's really secure. And you can put like a little dot of GS Hypo cement or jewelry, you know, bead stringing glue if you want to. The wax cord kind of grabs onto itself and it's usually pretty secure, but sometimes I go ahead and do that extra step. Let me get my knotting tweezer inside my loop as I've been doing through the whole piece. If I need it, let's see. I want a really tight knot here. And I'm going to do that at least 1 more time, maybe even 2 more times. Let me see how it looks. I really like the presence of the waxed cord there. That is so pretty. And then right here, I'm going to do 2 little fringy things the same way that I did with the earrings, just create like a little stack of beads. And I decided to bring in some carnelian. I can cut away my extra cord. I don't need that much. Be a little bit easier to string. And I have 2 more pairs of earrings available for that leftover cord. So I'm gonna do let's see, I think I'll start at the top. I'm gonna do one of these little crystals. When you're using wax cord, you can pinch and twist to kind of activate the wax and make a needle, but you can also put a little bit of super glue on the end, whatever makes it easy to string. But every single one of the beads that I'm working with have, even the carnelian has a really nice, easy to string hole. So that's what that is going to look like. And I'm going to just do 2 of those and just tie a pretty chunky knot here. And I want a little bit of the cord to be exposed. And I know that is definitely not a big enough knot. I may even do a surgeon's knot, which is going through once and then going through the loop twice. And let me just work it down so it's on top of that first little knot there. Let's see if that bead is going to stay. Yep, that looks great. And now I can trim this away and create that same fringiness that I did on my earrings. Get that going that way. And you can go back after you do your fringe and make it a bit shorter if you like it shorter. If you don't like this little tassel look on the end, you can also trim that away and then if you trim it really close to the knot, I would put a little dot of glue just to make sure that your beads stay on. That is so pretty. I'm just going to repeat the exact same thing on this one. Love those little dangles. As I said, this is going to be like gypsy beach jewelry or tropical boho. I don't know. I have to come up with a name. But I also want to add in, I think I want to add in this little flower charm. I can either do it on this side or I can put everything on this side, and I kind of like that. I kind of like the little dangles. So I like all the little dangles clustered together, and I'm going to, let's see, I think I'm going to attach it right through the loop of the connector. The nice thing about doing this with a jump ring instead of threading the cord right onto the charm is that if I wear it for a little bit and I don't like the way the charm is landing on my wrist or dangling, I can open this jump ring easily and, you know, place it somewhere else. And this beautiful little tropical bracelet is done. I love this. This is so happy. I can hardly wait to put it on. Do it this way. That is just gorgeous. And I love the magnetic clasp. I got my length just perfect. Look at how beautiful that is. I love it. Just love it. And it stacks so beautifully with my other bracelet. And I love the color blocking. It's kind of color blocking because it's gone to all these like citrusy colors and then changes. And I just love the addition of just one of those little crackle agate beads. So pretty. I'm so excited to wear that. Okay, so I have my earrings, I have my bracelet, and I'm going to jump into my necklace project, which is why all of these other goodies were out here. Some seed beads. I don't exactly know what I'm going to do yet, except I do know that I've taken about 30 inches of the 1 meter of chain that came in the box. I have this much left, which could be a really sweet little bracelet to add into my stack, but I'm also thinking I love chain earrings and even double chains. Like I could double it like that and do some dangles. I have enough for a pair of earrings. I think that's probably what I'm going to do with my leftover chain, but for now I'm going to do a charm necklace. So I did about 30 inches because I want my charms to be hanging at the bottom here so that I can see them. And I'm done with my knotting tweezer. Let me put this away. And so I just have a few little head pins, and I'm going to start with an odd number, like maybe 7 charms, and just kind of create some pretty little dangles for my necklace. So whoops, 1 head pin at a time. So I love these little ball head pins. They add that little dot of gold at the end. And I can just kind of play, and I want them to be random. I've decided that no 2 will be alike. And let's see, I don't want to do simple loops because this is like a 20, I think this is maybe a 22 gauge of wire on this. So in fact, I think on the top of the crystal before I wire wrap it. Oh yeah, I like that little, kind of adding in my charms, all of the elements that I've used in the other parts of my collection, and that way, you know, it can all coordinate. And I'm going to do really tiny wrapped loops. I'm going to stay down on this end, and I'm just going to at random create about 7 charms and get some really small jump rings, and then I will place them. This is going to be just like kind of a charm bracelet version, necklace of a, let me try that again, a necklace version of a classic charm bracelet. And so that's what the plan is. So that's my first one, and I'm just going to sit and create a few different baubles here. Some will be kind of plain. You just want about 7 of them, and I'm just going to wire wrap each one. All my little charms are made. No two are alike. They are so colorful and happy, all different. And now I'm just going to find the middle of my length of chain. Let me get a little scrap of wire. It's an easy way to find chain without counting links. So I just put both ends on the scrap of wire and find the middle, maybe. Okay, it is this link right here, and the first, let's see, the first one that I will hang is maybe this one. And I just need to grab a jump ring. Okay, that gives me my center of my little charm necklace, and I'm just going to pause here and put away, clean up my mat a little bit, and I need to make a couple more of these small jump rings, and then I'll decide the placement on all the other charms. But I'm going to put a few things away so I can stretch this out. So just be a second for you. I'll be back with some jump rings and we'll finish this off. The jump rings are made, and that's my center drop. And now I just need to decide if I'm going to do every other, and I think that's what I like, is every other link is going to get a charm. Let's see. Do 3 on this side and 3 on this side. This is going to be a really great layering necklace as well. I made it a little bit longer so that I can see the charms and play with them, but then I can wear a shorter necklace above it if I want to. So I'm just skipping a link, every other link. Oh, look, I just looked in my camera. The sun is coming up. I didn't realize because I've been working in the wee hours of the morning. The sun is making a really big shadow on my mat. Okay, I'm going to pause here and finish connecting all of these and put the shades down so there's no shadow on the video. This fun, flirty little tropical heat set is done. I love this little charm necklace. I did find that the clasps that came in the box were a little bit hard to close with the tiny little jump ring that came there, so I put a little bit larger jump ring, and I can see that it needs a little attention as I show it to you. I get excited when I'm connecting the last couple of bits to a project and I can see, you know, how it turned out. So my beautiful little necklace is done. These flirty little tropical heat earrings. This is such a fun pair. What a gorgeous little set. And I'm going to take off my bracelet so that I can lay it here on the mat. I love both my bracelets that I have made so far with this box, and like I said, I think there's going to be more to come. Let me lay him out so you can see all the little charms and dangles. I think there's going to be a lot more to come. This is my other bracelet. I did go back and put a magnetic clasp on my first bracelet that I made from my first video. And as I said, I think I said it in the beginning when I started this project, that I can link my unboxing and link this video as well. This is a simple stringing project that I did in my first video. Look at this gorgeous collection. It's so tropical and happy. These are like the most beautiful colors. So I will take some pictures and put them up at the end of the video. I thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed to Bargain Bead Box, you can use my code to get a discount off of your first box. And don't forget that you can shop the website for 30% off once you subscribe. And if you're not going to subscribe, still shop the website. I'll put the link underneath the description box. Even without the 30%, it is a fabulous resource for jewelry makers. As you can see, beautiful gemstones, awesome findings. Like I pulled in some other things that I just purchased, the little stardust spacers and things, and you never know what they're going to have at the time because they do sell out of things, but it's a great resource. Thank you so much for choosing my video today. If you're not subscribed to my channel, it's a lovely way to support my work, and I'd really appreciate it. Tap the bell notification so you don't miss any notifications of my upcoming videos, and have a great day, and I hope everyone is safe and well and having fun on your beading mats. Ciao, jewelry making friends.